Welcome to another episode of I Do What I Want. This is episode 7 or 8, something like that, of the videos that we've put out. And we're filming with the phone today. And the reason we're doing that is because I lost the GoPro. I filmed a roofing segment for a local commercial that we shot, and then I don't know where I put it. I've checked my truck, I've checked the bags and the boxes. Worst case scenario, I left it outside at the job site. Couldn't find it. Have no idea what I did. Anyway, we're doing some builds. It is December, which means it's crazy time for us. We have 5 live rehearsals. One of them is a 65 input show. That's tomorrow. We have so many other ones surrounding that. So the stage change during this time of the year is bonkers because every day has a different show on it. And there's only a couple of us that actually, do that work. So a lot to do. Thought I'd give you guys an update on Building 3. Obviously, you guys know this is the warehouse where our company is located. It's also where Capital has all of their, and technically under my direction, all of the inventory that we have. And so we're shaping up for a real big season. And what we've got here is our Christmas prep stuff getting ready to go out. This wonderful TV that I bought and then dumped in the truck and immediately broke. So that's now parts.
Are you kidding me?
That was a cool thing that I did. We've got audio staged, kind of like we usually do, stuff that's getting ready to go out for show, a bunch of QTVs. Christmas Eve at Capitol is, first of all, a wild event. There's a lot going on. A lot of churches just have like their normal band, and they add some other narration things to it and whatever for Christmas. We don't do that. We do like a million other things on top of what we already do. There's a choir involved. The streaming elements are huge. The amount of rehearsals in and out are crazy. So, like I said, 65 input show and many, many production related elements. A lot of lighting programming. And we try to accomplish it all, in just about 2 weeks. So right now we are getting the shop ready for all of that prep. And then we have a couple of builds we need to tie up, which we're doing today. And basically get everything ready for the December and winter season. We don't really have much in January, which is awesome. We'll be able to take a break. So really, it's today through Christmas Eve. And then we'll have a loadout after Christmas Day on the 26th. And then that's really it. We'll take into January off, and that'll be a good time. So here in Building 3, our Whatnot card show comes out of here. We've been producing that out of this small studio thing that we built out of this drum cage that was here. So we hung some lights. Got a PTZ over there running off of NDI. I currently run a phone over NDI. And basically everything works super well. We do all of our cues and such in OBS. I have both vMix and OBS, but for these kind of things, I'm just quicker on the back end in OBS. So we've got a 3-monitor setup here. We do all of our scenes and setups and punch-ins from here. We've got a multi-view here that we use, and then our actual stream out. So we've got our Audio-Technica headphones that come into this. They sound amazing. They're really, really great. I think we only paid a couple $100s for these. So they are a really good headset with a mic. And they sound phenomenal. They're just coming into a basic mixer. That's getting dumped into OBS through a Focusrite interface. And we're taking that and sending it out on the Whatnot platform, doing some live breaks. It's actually been really fun. It's very enjoyable. Kick on the heat, throw the coffee on, and go to air, which, I don't know. That sounds like the best life to me. I'm biased, but I love to broadcast stuff. We've got our shelves in place for all of our quick pull stuff. We've got loads of EtherCon in because we're going to need it. All of our cases getting prepped. We've got shop projects right here on the floor. We've got our tool chest now in place. So all of our tape and gaff stuff and labeling, basically everything show prep, the final touches before things leave this building, that happens over there. And then in this side, our hangout space is coming together. We normally run the fluorescents off because who likes fluorescents? We've got our fireplace in through one of the old Xboxes in there, our Keurig coffee machine, loads of Milwaukee stuff that I bought over the weekend. Got our couches here, our organizing desk, the install section. We've got repair and building over there. So everything as we've designed it over the last year has really kind of started to show up well and be exactly what we wanted it to be. And that is fantastic news, because right now we're in the thick of it. This is now build time. So in this video today, we're going to be building a CQ20B into a couple of smaller SKB racks with an in-ear system. Trying to get that onto the CYA show, get them shelf, make things happen, make it clean, do the best we can, and make their shows a little bit easier there at Boise State, have some in-ear controls, and I'll kind of explain what the benefit of that is for this small band. So today's build is that CQ20B. We're going to put it together here in this rack, starting now. So it's a great day for building the shop. We got all kinds of sunshine. It is cold in Idaho right now. We are November, I don't even remember what today is. No, November, it's December. Gosh. So it's the 3rd. Nope, it's not. Today is December 2nd. And it is a balmy 26 degrees today. I think we're supposed to be a high in the 40s-ish or something like that. But it's cold. The shop is cold. Barely have heat going in here just to catch up. But here's what today entails. Today is a rack mixer build with a couple of channels for in-ears for a band that goes out with our stuff every Monday. This band plays at Boise State University up in the lookout room on Mondays, and it's not very big. We're talking, small cocktail kit, keys, every now and again an electric guitar, acoustic for sure, a bass, and they're currently running through a JBL PRX1 system. For what the system is, it does pretty well. They're kind of just meant to work and be easy to use. But I got to tell you, the app sucks. It's terrible. One, there's not, of course, enough inputs for what we need it for. But that aside, the app is terrible. The PRX app is hard to use. I wouldn't call it intuitively laid out. It's not as bad as Behringer stuff has been over the years, in the X32 platform. And in some ways, the XR stuff. XR's a little better. But we just don't like it. It's not good to use. We've also had some issues with communications between speakers. I get what it's for as an all-in-one program, but it just isn't, it's not great. We don't like it. So instead, and to fill other needs, we have gone with the Allen & Heath CQ20B. A lot of you know it's been out for about 2 years, year and a half or so. This kind of does everything that we need it to do. We get 16 total inputs, and the bottom 9 through 16 can host both XLR and 1/4 inch inputs, which is kind of convenient for a band. There's just all that many DIs we don't need to run for the line level signals. We do get an SD card slot, and that's huge because we actually podcast this show, so we can just record it here and make it easy. It's got, of course, USB for bringing in your 16 gigabyte sticks or whatever you use for shows or scenes or your user profiles or any of those things. There's many other uses as well. We do use the network port just for a better Wi-Fi router. We still run them through a basic switch, hits a router. So it just gives that confidence that we're not going to have those dropouts. And then you can multi-track off of this, which I'm very excited to do, into a DAW at some point with one of these live shows. I kind of want to actually just do it just to have the experience, but to be able to take these 16 channels here, bust them into Logic, run waves right over the top of it, mix it live for a stream, that would be super cool. Also, the preamps on these are very low noise. We're seeing a lot of the same characteristics that the SQ consoles have, the 5, 6, and 7 series. They just are low noise. You can crank them up. Not a whole lot of crap in the background. They sound good. These are a warmer sounding preamp to me. I know some people who don't love the way Allen and Heath's preamps sound. They do have a little more color than, say, something flat like you'd see in the Yamaha series, like the QL1s. CL5's kind of got that going on. Legendarily known years and years ago, the M7CL had very sterile sounding inputs. I know people who appreciate that. Like, I'm a person that hates the Behringer sound. I will run a show on an X32. I'm not really having a good time doing it. I don't like the kind of sound that comes from that, or the M32 for that matter. They don't live in the same world as like the Pro 2 from Midas, in my opinion. But these are warmer. I do like them. They sound more musical to me. I feel like for the way that I mix also, I have to do less on the channel to kind of get what I'm after and replicate the band well. In truth, the biggest win in the system is having your EQ dialed specifically for the room you're in and doing a good job with that. One of my systems engineers, guy by the name of Nathan Palmer, and a business partner of mine, is just so good. I mean, he nails it every time. We shoot the room, he brings in RTA, gets it done, and I mean, by the time we're finished, you can just stand in front of the speaker at almost full volume with a mic and just not have a problem. So the gain staging of that is really important. Doing it on a great desk, even better. So this CQ20B is going to get put together. We did buy separately the rack ears package for it. They're right here. I actually delayed putting this together because I couldn't find the screws. And luckily today, before shooting this, I have the screws I need for putting the ears on. So we're going to rack this guy up. And it's actually going to go in this SKB. Now, this is a 2-part SKB case. I've had it for a really long time. It's been an IT case. It's been a remote package case for broadcast. It's kind of been a lot of different things. And so it's going to see another life here with this build. Our thought is we have 6 channels of really old. Let's just get that out the way right now. Old Shure P4Ts. We're going to be shoving them here up top and putting the CQ at the bottom. The reason we're doing that is I don't like busy looking stages and bad cable management. I really hate that. So we're going to put the CQ20B at the bottom. There will be a non-racked battery backup system, you know, just to help with some voltage regulation for different venues we go to, help keep the spike damage down if we were ever to take a bad surge. So we've got those all going into here. CQ at the bottom so the cables don't have to fall long to the floor. And then we will have a female XLR to, of course, male 1/4 inch snake that's going to come up and populate the ears. There's a port in the back of this case way over in here that actually connects these two and lets cables pass between them. It's going to be really key for this build for keeping it nice and tight. We're going to get it deployable today because we actually have that show in 3.5 hours. So I'm going to build this and send it down there. And then we're going to run it, do our tests that we need to do, get everything deployed, and then we'll come back in the shop and kind of make it nice or nicer after we get everything set. So we're going to start that build here and send it out. It's literally going to do a show in a bit. So we're going to get going and not take any more wasted time. All right, so some of the first things that we're going to do here is start taking the things that are in this case out because they belong to a different project and I don't need them. We have a couple of these little puny Craftsman screwdrivers that are perfect for just getting into some small places, getting rack screws into these builds, you know, without having a big bulky drill in the way. They are perfect for this. We have a ton of Milwaukee equipment now. We've always had like Ryobi and Craftsman stuff for like just basically this kind of work because you don't need anything super heavy duty, but we kind of are switching it all the way as a shop to the Milwaukee stuff because we do quite a bit of install. And since we do a ton of install work, it's just so much easier having the right tools. Any person that builds anything kind of knows that there's a point at which you have to make that switch from tools that'll get you by into tools that reflect the work that you do. And we're there. We do some really, really amazing builds. They look super good. It's kind of a new area for us. We put a lot of time and effort into them. We want a good product. We want people to be happy with the product that they purchase, especially if it's like a school or a nonprofit. Those jobs get overlooked a lot, only because they don't have money. You know, a lot of groups, and I think rightfully so, don't touch them just because there's no money to be made. And if you're running a business, you got people to pay. For all my business owners out there, you know that the end of the demand list never shows up, and everybody always wants to get paid. So there's all kinds of pressures, things that you're responsible for as a business owner that most people just in regular life, I guess, just don't understand. So, you know, it's not worth it to, you know, put so much time and effort into those smaller builds that don't make any cash. But we do it because we have time, and we really like supporting, you know, schools and nonprofits that are doing a lot of cool things. So one of the first things that we're going to do here is get the ears onto this CQ20B, and those are the screws I did not have. Turns out I left them back at my other office. My fault. So we're going to mount these up real quick and then start figuring out maybe what the best solutions for these things are. Just so the video isn't crazy boring, I'm going to kind of cut around the scenes that matter rather than just put the whole build here. However, if the whole build is something you would want to see, I mean, we have all the recorded footage. I don't mind, you know, putting it all out there. We'll just see what everybody is interested in and what they like. Probably will be putting an internal snake in here that doesn't ever have to leave. There's some really good looking options for those, you know, tight connectors that are basically an L, and it can leave things flush. So we might do something like that, but this will work for today for our testing purposes. And then we're not going to plug in our main left and right because we need those for our XLRs going to the PRXs. So in this rack, nothing is basically full-time patched with the exception of the wireless mics. And of course everything patches in the front, and I might end up just coming through here. Let's see what the length of those cables are. We have them back here. We should be able to leave all three of these flat and put this in there. Nice. We've already taped them in advance. So we've got orange here, violet here. Oh, we don't need to turn them that much. Keep them kind of turned, but you know, enough out of the way. Nice, that looks great. Probably end up taping this cable on because it's kind of wanting to fight me here. Probably the better move is to pull this out and run it on the inside. So these will probably all get like taped up together just to help keep the cables from not changing. But that's good enough for those. So this unit is where the in-ears are going to sit. Really cool that we got this rack power sitting in the back of it. That's extremely helpful. Why is that so difficult? Well, that's annoying. And there's nothing to grease. It's plastic. That'll be what it'll be. So we've got power from the back end. That's convenient. Got our XLR lines that are going to plug in the front. Oh, that's perfect. Technically, if I could find a way to screw in this in reverse, I would be okay. But it looks like it can reach if it's on the bottom. So I think I just figured out how we're going to do that. So the network switch is going to have to be on the bottom for this build. And I really need this thing to go. We'll cut that off later. Again, not something I need. So I think we're going to just make this permanent. We'll go right there and maybe scoot our line under. We could technically run a pass through to make that happen. So let's do that. We'll move this up one more unit so that we've got something that kind of makes sense here. This switch is so old. I'm pretty sure this switch is from like the mid 2000s. I think is when it was bought. I didn't buy it. It came out of Capital's old stock. However, kind of like legacy gear tends to, it hasn't ever died. It's never let me down. It doesn't need to pass a ton of data. No videos going over it. It really is just moving data for our rack mixer. That's it. So this should be totally appropriate for what we're doing. I think we're gonna be okay though. It's tighter than I'd like it to be, but we can always change that cable out. Not a big deal at all. So that takes care of the front of the rack for us. We're gonna go take the in-ears out of their case and bring them over to here. So there's our P4T rack, and we're going to integrate it into this setup, mostly so that we don't have to stack this build apart every week. Okay. And then I think we're just going to wire our BLX We were running it off of a distro before. Actually, might need to keep that distro because I don't think the power cables are in. We'll see here. I kind of can't see what's in there, so I don't know if the Shure Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm trying to talk and work at the same time. Very bad combo for me, historically. Trying to talk and do things. That was really dumb. So I got distracted because I took the screws out of this one and then thought I missed screws in the BLX because I was talking and trying to work at the same time, and that was not good of me to do. Historically, that's not something I am able to pull off. Work and talk at the same time. Not a thing. So, pull this guy through the bottom of that. Yeah. As long as they lay flat, they'll be okay. get them kind of sorted here. Obviously, we know that we don't need 7 and 8. So we should kick those out. This is not handwriting I can read, and it's mine. Oh, I don't know what that is either. Oh my goodness. All right, there's 3, there's 4. That's 2, 5. I don't know what that says. Why are there several that look like they say 2? That's 6. This is embarrassing. 2, 6, 5, 3, 4. I legitimately don't know. Oh, 1. I'm pretty sure that's 1. Oh. All right. Yeah. So that looks good. We've got our all of our pieces in line. The cables are decently managed. Going into here for what they're needing to do. I think for right now everything is going to be kind of left open. Really not going to be locked all the way down. Just kind of basing that off of the needs of this project. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's the Netgear switch up. All right, another piece that I had is this older case, and we're going to just basically use it to throw all of our mics and packs in. That'll be our solution for now, as well as what we call the engineering kit. I'll show you what that is. So we got all of our mics in here. They're labeled. Our packs are in bags. And then we've got the CYA ENG kit, which is really just a front of house talkback, spare, plug in for an iPhone, and a set of in-ears. Just easy. So all of that basically works. We're good there. We need to take our mics and get them on. To the correct channel. So we got B1 here. So there's B1. Hey, 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 hey. 1, 2, hey. So far, no interference with 5, so that's good. Also in the same group, and Shure is very good about making sure that channels within the same group don't have bleed over. They're the pros. So B5. Check, 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 check. Hey! Hey, hey! 1, 2. We're seeing a little bit kind of show up over there. If I go far away though, I'm not seeing a whole lot of crossover. So as long as these two are not crazy close to the rack, we should be okay. Again, we usually do a sight scan just to make sure they're in happy territory. So that finishes those out. Okay, that basically does it for this video. kind of a quick put a rack together, have a band on a rack mixer, give them 6 sets of in-ears, call it good. That should get everything done what we need to. We'll have an update on this rack because we're going to be doing some click track and MD stuff in it as well, getting those things set up within the interface and making it go. So that's it. Catch you in the next one.